The email invitation sat in my trash folder where I'd moved it after reading it once. Riverview Country Club Annual Charity Gala Family Event. My mother had forwarded it to me with a single line. Just FY, though this probably isn't your scene. She was right to assume I wouldn't be attending. What she didn't know was that I'd been instrumental in organizing it. My phone buzzed with a text from my brother Derek. Mom and Dad got me a tux for the club thing. Apparently it's black tie. Fancy stuff. Oh. You dodging it? I typed back a simple work commitment, and left it at that. The truth was more complicated. 3 years ago, when Riverview Country Club was being established as the city's premier social and business hub, I'd been approached by the founding investment group. My venture capital firm had made strategic investments in hospitality and luxury services, and they wanted both my financial backing and my expertise in creating exclusive member experiences. I'd contributed 7 figures to the development and sat on the advisory board that shaped every aspect of the club's structure. My platinum founding membership wasn't just a status symbol. It came with governance responsibilities, input on major decisions, and yes, hosting duties for signature events. The annual gala was our biggest fundraiser, supporting youth programs across the city. This year we were projected to raise over $2 million. But my family didn't know any of this. They never asked about my work, dismissing my career in venture capital as playing with money on computers. Derek, meanwhile, had parlayed his mediocre marketing degree into a mid-level position at a local advertising firm, and my parents treated him like he'd invented the industry. Marina is so unrefined, I'd overheard my mother telling her sister last month. She works from home in yoga pants. Derek actually goes to an office, networks with important people. He understands professional culture. The irony was suffocating. I worked from home because I was managing a portfolio worth hundreds of millions. Derek went to an office because he was required to clock in. My father called 3 days before the gala. Marina, your mother wanted me to explain something to you about this weekend. The country club event, I said flatly. Right. Look, it's a very sophisticated affair. Black tie, 7-course dinner, silent auction with items in the 5-figure range. There's etiquette involved, protocol. Your mother thinks it might be overwhelming for you. Overwhelming, I repeated. You know how you are at family gatherings. You don't really mingle, you're always on your phone working. This event is about socializing, making connections. Derek has been preparing, reading up on proper dinner conversation, even watching videos about formal dining etiquette. The image of my 32-year-old brother watching YouTube videos about which fork to use would have been funny if it wasn't so insulting to me. We only got 3 tickets, Dad continued. They're quite expensive. We thought it would be better to bring Derek. He can actually benefit from the networking opportunities. You understand, right? I understood perfectly. They'd chosen their golden child for the prestigious outing and manufactured a reason to exclude me that sounded almost protective. That's fine, I said. I hope you all have a wonderful time. You're not upset? He sounded surprised. Not at all. Enjoy the gala. After I hung up, I pulled up the event details on my laptop. As a platinum founding member, I had access to the full guest list, seating arrangements and program schedule. I found my family's names. Table 12, standard admission tickets purchased by Derek's boss as a corporate gesture. They'd be seated near the back, far from the stage where I'd be sitting with the other board members and major donors. The gala chairman, Robert Ashford, had emailed me twice asking if I'd prepared my welcome remarks for the evening. As one of the founding members and largest individual contributors, I was expected to give a brief speech before dinner about the club's mission and the impact of the youth programs we were funding. I'd been planning to decline the speaking role this year. Public speaking wasn't my strength and I preferred working behind the scenes. But something about my family's casual dismissal of me sparked a different instinct. I replied to Robert, I'll do the welcome remarks. And let's make sure the founding members are recognized individually during the program. His response was immediate. Excellent. We'll spotlight each founding member with a brief bio on the screens. The membership will appreciate seeing who made this community possible. The night of the gala, I dressed carefully in a floor-length navy gown that had cost more than Derek's monthly rent. My hair was professionally styled, my makeup understated but flawless. I looked exactly like someone who belonged at the most exclusive social event of the season. Because I did belong there. I'd literally helped create it. I arrived early as board members were expected to do, and spent 30 minutes greeting guests in the reception hall. City council members, philanthropists, business leaders, several faces I recognized from Forbes lists. These were my people, though my family would never believe it. Marina. Robert Ashford clasped my hand warmly. Thank you for agreeing to speak tonight. Your perspective on why we established this club means everything. Happy to do it, I said, accepting a glass of champagne from a passing server. Your family didn't want to sit with the founding members? Robert gestured toward the VIP section where place cards bore the names of the platinum members and their guests. They didn't realize they could request it, I said diplomatically. They're at table 12. He checked his tablet. Ah, the Morrison party. Derek Morrison is your brother? Yes. His boss purchased those tickets. Nice gesture. Robert's tone made it clear he understood the difference between corporate charity tickets and actual membership. Well, you'll have to introduce me later. I'm sure they're proud of everything you've accomplished here. I smiled and said nothing. The reception hall filled steadily. I spotted my family arriving, my mother resplendent in a dress she'd probably spent weeks selecting, my father uncomfortable in his tuxedo, Derek looking smugly confident as he surveyed the room like he owned it. They didn't see me. I was across the room, partially obscured by a marble column, and they weren't looking for me anyway. Why would they? They thought I was at home in yoga pants, probably working on my laptop. I watched my mother whisper something to Derek, gesturing at the elegant space. He nodded, puffing up with self-importance. A server approached them with champagne, and Derek took a glass with an exaggerated flourish, as if he'd been attending events like this his entire life. My mother's sister, Aunt Diane, materialized beside them. Isn't this incredible? Derek, this is exactly the kind of environment you should be in. Such sophisticated people. It's impressive, Derek agreed. This is where real business happens, you know? Not like Marina's computer stuff. This is about presence, relationships. My father clapped him on the shoulder. We're glad you're here with us, son. This is your world. The dinner chime sounded and guests began moving toward the ballroom. I made my way to the head table, where my place card read, Marina Chin, founding member VC Advisory Board. The ballroom was stunning. Crystal chandeliers, floral centerpieces that had cost $800 each, linens imported from Italy. Every detail had been debated and approved by the founding board. I'd personally signed off on the menu selection. From my position at the head table, I had a clear view of table 12. My family was settling in, looking around with impressed expressions. My mother was already photographing the centerpiece for her social media. Derek was chatting with his boss, clearly trying to appear knowledgeable about country club culture. Robert Ashford stood and approached the podium. The room quieted. Good evening and welcome to the 3rd annual Riverview Country Club Charity Gala. Tonight we gather to celebrate our community and support the youth programs that change lives across our city. Polite applause rippled through the room. Before we begin dinner, I want to recognize the visionaries who made this club possible. 3 years ago, a group of business leaders and philanthropists came together with a shared dream, to create not just a social venue, but a community hub that would give back. Our platinum founding members invested not just their resources, but their expertise and their passion. The lights dimmed and the large screens around the room illuminated with the first profile. James Whitmore, founder of Whitmore Properties, whose vision for luxury hospitality shaped our facility design. One by one, the founding members were recognized. Corporate leaders, entrepreneurs, old money families who'd been in the city for generations. Each profile showed a photo and a brief biography of accomplishments. I watched my family's faces as they realized the caliber of people surrounding them. My mother's expression had shifted from impressed to slightly anxious. These weren't just successful people. These were the people who defined success in our city. And finally, Robert said, his voice warm with genuine respect, I want to introduce someone whose insight and guidance have been invaluable to everything we've built here. At just 28 years old, she's already managing a venture capital portfolio worth over $300 million. She advises some of the most innovative startups in the technology and hospitality sectors. Her investment in Riverview wasn't just financial. She helped us structure our membership model, our community programs, and our vision for sustainable growth. My photo appeared on the screens. Professional headshot, confident smile, the bio listing my credentials and accomplishments. Marina Chin is one of our platinum founding members and serves on our advisory board. Tonight she'll share a few words about why this community matters. Marina, please. The applause was substantial as I stood and walked to the podium. I didn't look at table 12 yet. I didn't need to. I could feel the shock radiating from that corner of the room. Thank you, Robert, I began, my voice steady despite my racing heart. 3 years ago, when we first discussed creating Riverview Country Club, I was excited by the possibility of building something that would last, something that would matter. Not just a place for galas and golf, but a community that invests in the next generation. I spoke for 5 minutes about the youth programs, the scholarships we'd funded, the lives changed by the opportunities we'd created. I talked about the responsibility that comes with privilege and resources, about using success to lift others up. As I spoke, I finally allowed myself to glance at table 12. My mother's face was white. My father looked like he'd been struck. Derek's smug expression had evaporated, replaced by something between confusion and horror. Aunt Diane's mouth was literally hanging open. Around them, other guests at their table were whispering, clearly putting together that the prestigious founding member on stage was related to the family at their table. I concluded my remarks and returned to my seat to warm applause. Dinner service began, but I noticed my mother frantically typing on her phone. Probably texting me, though I had my phone on silent in my clutch. Robert leaned over. Excellent speech. Your family looks shocked. They didn't know. I don't talk about work much at family gatherings, I said neutrally. He laughed. Well, they know now. During the second course, Derek's boss excused himself from table 12 and made his way to the head table. He introduced himself to Robert, then turned to me. Miss Chin, I want to apologize. I purchased those tickets for my team member Derek Morrison and his family. I had no idea his sister was on the founding board. If I'd known, I would have arranged VIP seating for them. That's very kind, I said, but they're comfortable where they are. He nodded, clearly uncomfortable. Derek has mentioned his sister works in tech? He's never mentioned venture capital or board positions. I feel quite foolish. People share what they choose to share, I said simply. He went back to table 12 and I watched him talk to my family. Derek turned red. My dad looked embarrassed and confused. My mom suddenly stood up and walked toward the head table. Security stopped her politely. She pointed at me while talking to the guard. The guard looked at me. I shook my head. He nodded and gently took my mom back to her seat. During the main course, my phone buzzed nonstop. I saw 17 messages. Mom, Dad, Derek, Aunt Diane. All asking, why didn't you tell us? Or, we need to talk. The last one from Mom said, people are asking why you're not with us. This looks bad. I put my phone face down and ate my steak. During dessert, the auction winners were announced. I won a luxury trip worth $45,000. My name was said out loud. People stared again. After dinner, networking began. Business leaders came to talk to me about projects, deals, investments. This was my world. I was comfortable. Across the room, my family stood alone. No one talked to them. Derek's boss had moved on. They looked awkward and ignored. My mom tried twice to come to me, but I was talking to important people. She couldn't interrupt. At the end of the night, Robert Ashford surprised me. He walked to my family's table. He introduced himself. I watched from far away. I knew my mom would try to explain everything. I saw my dad's shoulders drop. Whatever Robert said wasn't making them feel better. When Robert came back, he said, I talked to your family. I think I made things worse. He told me he asked why they didn't sit with me in VIP. My mom said they didn't have VIP tickets. He explained that founding members, like me, can always bring family. Then he asked if they supported my investment in the club. Her shocked face told him the truth. They don't know about my career, I said. They never asked. He nodded. I also mentioned your 7-figure investment. Your mother gasped. They excluded you from a club you helped create. That's cruel. They thought they were protecting me, I said bitterly. By keeping you out of your own club? He asked. When the event ended, people said goodbye to me, surprised I wasn't with my family. The social damage was done. My family waited near the entrance. They wanted answers. My mom spoke first. Marina, why didn't you tell us? We look like fools. Everyone asked about you. You said I wouldn't understand the etiquette, I said. You brought Derek instead for networking. We didn't know, my dad said. If you told us you were a member. A founding member, I said. Platinum level. On the advisory board. Derek finally spoke. Why hide that? It's crazy. I didn't hide it. You never asked, I said. Every time I talked about work, you changed the subject to Derek. My mom whispered, that's not fair. You said I was unrefined, I continued. You thought I'd embarrass you. So I let you exclude me, from the club I helped build, from the event I helped plan where I was a speaker. Aunt Diane stepped forward. People will think we were hiding you. You were ashamed of me, I said. You just didn't know I was successful enough for it to matter. Derek added quietly, my boss asked about you. I didn't even know the name of your company. Chin Capital Ventures, I said. We're in Forbes. You just never looked. My mom's eyes filled with tears. What do you want us to do? I want nothing, I said. You excluded me because you thought I wasn't good enough. Now you're upset because it made you look bad. That's your problem, not mine. I ended the conversation and left. My car was ready. I didn't look back. My phone buzzed all night with apologies, excuses, please. I ignored them. But I saw an email from Robert praising my work. And a message from Derek's boss asking for a meeting. My professional reputation was untouched. My family's treatment only exposed their own ignorance. I replied to Robert. I accepted the meeting. I left my family on read. They thought I wasn't ready for their fancy world. But the truth was simple. I had built the world they were trying to keep me out of. And now, every time they walked into the club and saw my name on the founder's plaque, they would remember exactly who underestimated whom.